Harold Thomas is looking like a genius in Dumbo holding. More Pleasant had to wait to the very last minute against Chapter Maroons, and Vera Phoenix United are in deep trouble. But we start one place and one place only, and that's at the Anthony Spalding Complex, where there were more zeros than heroes. This is Match Week 23 Review Show. Yes, people, welcome back to Jamaica Fan, and sorry, I'm feeling a little bit better, so you're going to hear my voice for this Match Week Review Show. Starting, of course, as promised, where Arnett was taking on Portmore United in the jungle. Starting with the starting lineup for the home team, former Portmore number 1 keeper Tyrone Williams kept his spot in goal for Arnett, making him the 5th, and yes, you called that right, the 5th goalkeeper they used this year. He's joined by Shamari Dwyer in the centre-back position, along with Captain Fabian Reid up top. As for Portmore, Daniel Russell got the nod in goal as Benjamin Williams is still out injured. Akeem Mullins is back into the team, and so is Javier Brown and Romeo Guthrie, who were both rested in their last game out. Now, when the game kicked off, Portmore actually started very well and brought the heat to Arnett very early. And while they made things a bit nervous for Arnett defense in their own box, they had to wait in the 12th minute with this rocket of a shot from Javier Brown from way outside the box to test Tyrone Williams in goal. Arnett, on the other hand, kind of walked up a bit after that. I was now bringing the attack more to Portmore, especially down the left-hand side, through the likes of Shea Smith and Wing. One ball here was placed into the box, and he landed neatly for Shea Smith to try his luck, and he also stunned the palms of Daniel Russell. They will come down that side again moments after that. A good ball placed into the box again. Fabian Reid laid off of Jaheim Thomas, who smacked his shot well, but side come after upright. The Junglers are now finally warmed up in the game. Portmore, for their credit though, they were still fighting. Colonel Bembo is leading the attack on the opposite direction, and after some good nifty footwork, I managed to get a shot on target, but it was a bit too straight, while this shot by Pinnock was a bit too wide. But both teams were definitely going at each other, but were just missing that final third quality to get that nod ahead. 0-0 it remains at half time. Second half, Portmore started fairly well again, but Arnett will get one of the better chances of the game. A good ball landed here for Shea Smith on the volley, but he got too much underneath it and it went over the bar. Then the game went into a bit of a lull. After that, no real big chances at opposite ends happened for a good while, as both teams kind of cancelled each other out in the middle of the park. But that silence was broken in the 70th minute, where we had a goal and a bit of controversy. Some good build-up play by Portmore here saw the ball reach Pinnock on the left-hand side, and he fired a good low shot into the back of the net. A great goal and even a better celebration, but it would be all for naught as the referee flag was actually up. To everybody's surprise, and even looking at the replay, it was deemed that Pinnock was in an offside position. Now, all I can say is that again from the eye test, it didn't look like an offside, but again we don't have an absolute camera angle at the right time to really tell the difference. So the referee get the benefit of the doubt here, and it remains 0-0. So it was tough on Portmore, and things have been even tougher if Warner Brown did not miss this gilt-edged chance right in front of the net. A massive chance missed by the league leading goal scorer, who somehow missed the empty net from 6 yards out. After that, both teams were a bit too tired to really muster anything else to try and find a breakthrough, and the game would eventually peter out in a disappointing 0-0. So I guess it was a good competitive game, but how was the game in terms of stats? Well, Arnett shared the possession, they have 55% of it all, compared to 45% from Portmore. But the visitors were better when it comes to the total shots, they have 14 compared to 8 from the Junglers. 2 were on target for the home team, and 5 were on target for the men from Portmore. 66 dangerous attacks for Arnett, and 59 dangerous attacks from Portmore. Alright, so let's start with the visitors in this one. Another good performance by Portmore, but once again they failed to get all 3 points. That's their 4th draw in 5 matches, and it's clear as day that they need a clinical number 9 to turn more of these draws into wins. As for the Junglers, well, they didn't play their best football once again, but at least this time they avoid defeat. And you would think on another day, Warner Brown would take one of those chances and they will be walking home with 3 points. So nothing to worry about just yet, and they will march on. But anyway, for now, it finishes a disappointing Arnett 0, Portmore United 0. So with both Arnett and Portmore dropping points, this was a big chance for Cavalier to make up some ground. But it won't be easy as they took on an informed Harbour view. In terms of the starting lineup for Cavalier, surprisingly, there's no Justin Dunn or Shaquille Stein, as New York City News attacker Jamaica writers get a nod in the attack. As for the Harbour view, a lot of it remained the same. Luka Kong and Gareth Stewart will lead in the middle of the park, but up front there is a change as Andre Fagan and Akwasa Chung was joined by Trayvon Reed to lead the attack. Now, when this game kicked off, it was a bit slow in the beginning and Cavalier actually dominated more of the ball, but somewhat against the run of the play, Harbour would take the lead. From a deep line free kick, the ball was played towards the back post and Gareth Stewart basically was all alone to climb above Leng and net it into the back of the net. Just like that, was 1-0 and Harbour was away and going. Things got worse for Cavalier moments after that as Joe McClary had to come out injured for Jaheim Fraser, but they did have a decent chance to get the equalizer, but the ball fell to the feet of Richard King, but his shot went straight to Bennett. After that, there were basically good gilded chances at both ends of the pitch as both teams found themselves in good positions but did not do enough to find the back of the net. Cavalier would find themselves in another good chance here, but again they couldn't get it past Bennett, while Harbour would race along on the opposite end through Akwasa Chung, who did well to tee up Andre Fagan in the box, but he dragged his shot wide. That would be the real last major chance before the halftime break. Second half now, Cavalier started on fire as they looked for that early equalizer and came close by another centre-back shot, this time it's from Leng, but he hit it too well and it went over the bar once again. But Cavalier pressure was relentless and they kept coming in droves, hoping to find a crucial equalizer. The only problem, it just seemed the ball was finding Richard King as if he was a magnet and he just could not find the golden touch to get that equalizer. And then there was still time for one big controversy in the game as well. Again, the ball came out to the top of the D. A good shot was placed towards goal, but Talbot seemed to do well to stretch his body and block the shot. No, if you look carefully at replay, you could clearly see the ball hit Talbot's hand in an unnatural position. It should have been a penalty call, but the referee and his assistant somehow missed it all. Cavalier would keep going after that though, and again put some pressure on the backline of Harbour in their own box, but Bennett and his defenders did just enough to manage to keep it at 0-0. There's even at times the referee will come to his rescue. And unfortunately for the Duncan Destroyers, time would eventually run out and they could not manage to find an elusive goal, and Harbour will leave Anthony Smalling Complex with a massive 3 points. So it was a game fairly dominant by Cavalier, but they still lost anyway. How was the game in terms of stats? Well, no surprise, the dominant possession was 67% compared to 33% for Harbour. They only mined 5 total shots in the game though, despite all that pressing, while Harbour managed to have 2 in return. Only 1 was on target for Cavalier, and so was only 1 for Harbour. 111 dangerous attacks though for Cavalier compared to only 56 for Harbour. 6 corners to the Duncan Destroyers and 1 corner to the Stars of the East. Alright, let's start with Cavalier quickly. Their up and down season continues, of course. After a good win last time against my Lions, they hit a pothole here against Harbour. As for Harbour, you could say after all their recent matches, that's one of their poor performances, but that was a massive win nonetheless. And when you want to starve off relegation, 3 points is all that matters. So once again, it finishes Cavalier 0, Harbour 1. So with Harbour winning big, Veer has some work to do to keep ground to get out of the relegation zone. They will travel to the Edward Seaga complex to take on Tivoli Guns. In terms of the starting lineup for the home team, Diaga Harton was back into the net, John Ryan Williams was back in defense, and more importantly, leading goal scorer Anthony Nelson was also back into the team. As for Vera Phoenix United, some major changes to their squad as well. Marlon Cunningham was back into the side, as well as Daniel Mitchell returned to the starting lineup. Now, when the game started, both teams were fairly even, although Tivoli kinda see more of the ball in the early proceedings. They weren't really threatening though, as Vera kept them at their arm's length, but the floodgates would open in roughly the 6th minute. Tivoli got a free kick roughly 35 yards out. They placed an ugly square into the box that somehow worked a charm and bamboozled all the way through the Vera Phoenix United defense and landed to John R. Williams at the back post, who composed himself and smashed it past White into the back of the net. 1-0 to Tivoli, and Vera must be wondering how they let that one happen. Well, things will be a bit easier to answer for the second goal. It was a clear defensive mistake from them, as only 3 minutes later, Vera had the ball deep in their own half, but Brazilian Ross made the unthinkable move to try to dribble through his own box, lost the ball, and saw it reach Garnett, who did well to compose himself before slotted past White once again and double Tivoli lead. 2-0, and Veer all of themselves to blame and why they're behind again. Credit to them though, they came storming back after this and finally started to play some good composed football. Denzel McKenzie and Tariq McGee again combined on the left hand side before Denzel once again teed up McGee in front of net, who did well to solo on his left foot before popping a shot past Horton and into the back of the net. 2-1 and Veer were back in the game once again. Only problem that after that, Tivoli kind of regained some of their composure and more of the ball, and the game got a little bit scrappy towards the end of the first half, but it remained Tivoli in the lead. Second half though, Tivoli came out fighting and of course was looking to regain their 2-goal cushion, but by the 53rd minute, that plan had to be thrown out the window. Morgana came installed up on the Veer player right here, and of course that's a bit too high for football, and he was ejected from the game. Tivoli down to 10 man with basically 35 minutes left to go. And Veer wasted no time, basically mere minutes after this, thanks to a corner and the ball bubbling around in the box. They managed to trickle the ball across the line and went to celebrate as it seemed they got the equalizer, but the referee intervened and disallowed the goal, claiming that there was a handball in the build-up. Unlucky for Veer, but they do have the momentum and the man advantage on their side. They will come with waves and waves of attack after that as they try their best to get that equalizer, with their closest efforts coming from Wu Ling, who hit the crossbar right here, before they had another late effort that crushed off the post. But try as they may, they just could not get past Houghton one more time before the sands of the hourglass trickle out, and Tivoli will see off Veer for a decent 2-1 home victory. So it was all grit and fight by the home team in that second half. How was the game turned to stats? Well, Tivoli had more of the possession. I guess that's based on what they did in that first half with 59% compared to 41% from Veer. But Tivoli only managed 3 total shots in the game compared to 7 from Veer Phoenix United. Tivoli had 2 on target from those 3 compared to 2 on target from Veer Phoenix United. Tivoli only managed 27 dangerous attacks in the game compared to 35 from Veer Phoenix United, and there were 2 corners to the home team while there was 4 corners to the away side. Alright, let's start with the home team quickly. Alright, Tivoli, is good to see Anthony Nelson back, and it was good to see they race into a 2-goal lead, but they should have kept their composure and discipline to probably see out the game much easier. As for Veer, things are looking very bleak for them. They are now struggling further and further down in the depths of relegation. Yes, they have been playing better lately, but they still have to work on those individual errors in defense. But once again, it finishes Tivoli Gardens 2, Veer Phoenix United 1. So Veer losing in Humber Lion has a big chance to catch some ground and declare their neighbours in the relegation zone. They host our out of form Waterhouse team. It's turned to the starting lineup. We'll start with Humber Lion, who saw Trinidadian goalkeeper Glenroy Samuel back into goal. Afifa Chambers is back into the squad, and so is Kareem Bryan also into the team. As for Waterhouse, Akeem Bernard is the goalkeeper in between the sticks. Javian Bryan get another chance at number 9, and they welcome a return to their number 10, Denaro Thomas. No, when the game started, Waterhouse were the ones that started much more on the stronger foot and carried the game to Humber Lion. They created some decent half chances, but nothing to really rattle the home fans and get the ball into the back of the net. But they definitely dominated majority of the ball in the opening proceedings. So this is why it's a bit of a shell shock that Stephen Barnett got the opening goal. He managed to break the deadlock in the 18th minute, and he basically came against a run of play. Waterhouse went up the other end to try get back something right away. I was looking much more dangerous, but again they couldn't really get anything past Glenroy Samuels. But sometimes you just need a bit of luck, and they will get it here in the 41st minute. A free kick just outside of the box that had no business getting through the wall, and somehow it did, and the quick thinking Dylan John did well to fire home from close range to give Waterhouse parity right before the half. 1-1 at half time. Second half though, I must give credit to Humber Lion. They started this half much better than they did the first. I was now taking more of the fight to Waterhouse. They created decent chances of their own, especially on some set pieces, but they were slightly off target. Waterhouse was a shut up their first half selves, and this really wasn't into the game, so it's no surprise that Humber Lion will pluck away until they finally find the go-ahead goal. Stevie Barnett was played in on a nice through ball through the middle, and while he got his shot away, Bernard did well to block it, but Steven kept up the fight and got the rebound, took it around Bernard before he rolled it into the empty net. Perseverance paid off once again for Barnett, and that doubled him and Humber Lion's tally of the day. That spurred Waterhouse into a retaliation, and they started to throw everything plus the kitchen sink at Humber Lion, trying to get something out of it. It led to 2 magnificent saves by Glenroy Samuels at the death, keep Humber Lion's slender lead intact. That would be all Waterhouse could muster, and in the end, Humber Lion get a crucial 3 points at home when the final whistle was blown. 2-1 the game ended. So a big point for Humber Lion, and Waterhouse will be feeling away, but how was the game in terms of stats? Well, Humber Lion dominated possession in the end thanks to their second half blitz. They have 56% compared to Waterhouse 44. Humber Lion had 12 total shots in the game compared to 16 by Waterhouse. Only 4 were on target for the Lions compared to 7 on target for Firehouse Nation. Only 38 dangerous attacks for the home team, while 62 dangerous attacks for the visitors. 5 corners for Humber Lion, 4 corners for Waterhouse. Alright, let's start with Waterhouse first. Another disappointing result here for Marcel Gale and his squad. Again, they played some decent football, but somehow it did let 3 points slip out of their grasp. As for Humber Lion, this is an impressive response to that disappointing 5-0 drubbing they got on Monday night. They showed some pride in this one, and a couple more of these wins and they'll be out of relegation zone in no time. But anyway, for now it finishes Humber Lion 2, Waterhouse 1. So with Waterhouse dropping points, it's a big chance for Racing to make up some ground, but it won't be easy as they travel all the way to the second city to take on Montgomery United. In terms of starting lineup for the home team, they made 2 major changes. Only Nish was back into the squad, and so is Jordan Fletcher back in the starting lineup. As for Racing, their big change came in goal as well. Carl Holmes is back in between the sticks, and new attacker Andre Clennon kept his spot up top. Now, when the game kicked off, it was all Montego Bay in the early proceedings, and Mobe created some decent chances where they were able to create numerous openings to get some good shots off. And not much of them were on target though, and Racing was left to breathe a sigh of relief. That's not to say they didn't have their own chances as well. They definitely caused some trouble for Mobe in their final third, but also their shot was a little bit off. The both teams would end the first half on even 0-0. Second half, Mobe stepped up things a bit and dominated majority of the ball and the chances in that second half, but they were left a bit frustrated by Racing as they couldn't quite get the ball over the line despite the numerous crosses and set pieces that were swapped in. While Racing was doing a decent chance on the counter and probably felt a little bit discouraged that some of their good shots on target didn't crept in. In the end, no one got the best of each other and the game would peter out in another disappointing 0-0. So nobody scored, but how was the game in terms of stats? Well, Mobe had 52% of possession compared to Racing's 48. Mobe had 15 total shots compared to 13 by Racing, but only 1 shot was on target for the home team compared to 6 on target for the visitors. 55 dangerous attacks for Mobe compared to 36 dangerous attacks for Racing United. 7 corners for Mobe as they tried their best to get a goal from a set piece, while 3 corners for Racing United. Yeah, not much to say about this game. Mobe did well to hold on to the ball, while Racing did well on the counter. But both sides couldn't do enough in the final third to give them a crucial win. This will hurt Racing more. As I said, Waterhouse did slip up, but they keep their unbeaten streak going to come again next time. For now, it finishes Montego Bay 0, Racing United 0. On to our next game, where the league leaders Mount Pleasant will look to go further away from the pack, but they welcome a struggling Chapter Maroons. With so many back-to-back games, Tupper Whitmore rang in the changes. There was a change in goal as Tafari Chambers was given a rare start. So was Melvin Duxley back into the squad as well as new boy Sean McFarlane given a chance to make an impression to his new fans. In terms of the starting lineup for Chapter Maroons, Daniel Watson's back into the starting lineup. Former Mount Pleasant player Marlon Allen will start on the wing, and after coming on and scoring a last-minute free kick, Andrew Vanze will start from the very beginning this time out. Now, when the game started, Chapterton actually started fairly well and controlled the majority of the ball. But it didn't take long for Mount Pleasant to take control of the ball and majority of the possession. They were now carving up some half chances, especially on the right-hand side, as they looked to pry open that Chapterton back line. Shamor Smith got a decent chance here, but he missed the target before Edwards raced down the right-hand channel and almost got a shot in, but excellent defensive work by Austin made sure nothing troubled his goal and his keeper. Chapterton was doing a good defensive work to keep Mount Pleasant off the scoreboard, but the tasks were made much harder in the 31st minute. From their own free kick, Austin got in a tussle with one of the Mount Pleasant players, and I'm not quite sure if he struck the more pleasant player in the face, but he was given a red card and his marching orders. And just like that, the Maroons were now down to 10 men and their defensive work will be much harder. But they did manage to see out the rest of that first half, and more pleasant didn't do enough to break them down and get a goal on the board. Second half though, coach Tapper Whitmore made 3 changes as he brought on Daniel Green, Nicholas Nelson and Alex Marshall into the team as they looked to try to find that opening goal. And while they come close on many occasions, especially from this set piece here that hit the crossbar and then saw the follow-up shot miss the target, they just couldn't get past Plunkett in goal. And with the clock ticking away, it would seem this was another game destined for a 0-0 draw until a moment of madness from Plunkett in the dying moment. A simple ball was played down the left-hand channel into the box. Plunkett raced out early to try to beat the more pleasant attacker, but he was well late and take down this man in the penalty area. No surprise the penalty was given and a big chance for more pleasant to steal 3 points. Nicholas Nelson would be the man to take it and he duly obliged and easily slotted home, and more pleasant would get that 1-0 lead finally in the dying moment. Chapman indiscipline would actually get even worse because after the goal, Captain Nathaniel was seen to have some choice words for the referee, which he did not like of course, and a second red card was now given to the Chapman Maroons. They were now down to 9 men and there was no chance for them to get back into this game. 1-0 it ended and more pleasant still 3 points at the death. So that was an interesting game, but how was it in terms of stats? Well, we have no possession, but we do know Pleasant had 4 total shots in the game compared to 0 from Chapman Maroons. Mount Pleasant only managed 1 on target compared to 0 from Chapman Maroons as they were too busy focused on defending. 7 corners to Mount Pleasant, 3 corners to Chapman, 1 yellow card apiece, but of course 2 red cards to the visitors. Alright, let's start with Mount Pleasant. Of course, we can't expect them to smash every team they face every week 5-0, so it's not a bad look that they still possess the ability to grind out results. As for Chapman, well, they fought hard, but their indiscipline probably cost them heavily in this game. Something for them to work on. Anyway, for now, it finishes Mount Pleasant 1, Chapman 0. We now move on to our final game, and it's between 2 teams that are going in the opposite directions. Malines United will host Dumbo Holden. As for the starting lineup for Malines, Darren Dene was back between the sticks after missing the Cavalier game. Dumar McLaughlin got a rare start in the starting lineup as well, but in a more surprising move, Captain Jason Wright is pawned up top with Peter McGregor. As for Dumbo Holden, they are normally unchanged because of the good form they are on, but there is a change at the back. Devontae Hodges is in to partner Damian Binns. Shavar Walken is still there, but surprisingly he's at right back, and Nicoy Christian will try to help out DeAndre Thomas up front. Now, when the game started, Malines was very sloppy on the ball, especially at the back, and they carved off an early chance for Dumbo Holden, but thanks to their number 1 keeper Dene, they avoid going down 1 goal early in this game. Dumbo Holden will keep coming of course, and he almost found the back of the net this time, but this Daisy cutter just missed the inside of the upright and went a little bit wide. Malines needed to wake up, and they finally did moments after that when they created their first chance down the right hand channel from McGregor, who did well to cut in on his defender, but his weak effort only went straight to Hyatt and away for safety. But Malines was finally starting to come into the game at this point, and it was now Dumbo Holden's turn to be sloppy on the ball. Hodges got robbed right here, and a dangerous cross was played into the box. Hyatt did just enough, and so did Binns, to make sure Jason Wright didn't tuck this one into the empty net. Both teams basically playing some dangerous football at the moment. Dumbo Holden will get one last big chance of the first half. Shaquem Poyle played the ball in for Dwight Merrick, who had 2 bites at the cherry, but Darren Nene came up big to make sure the both teams entered the halftime whistle at 0-0. The second half though, and the deadlock will finally be broken, and it all came down to the great exploit of Roger Smith, who has been on great form as of late. He came down the left hand side and drew 3 yellow shirts towards him, which basically freed up all the time in the world for DeAndre Thomas at the back post, and he made no mistake this time to get past Dene and into the back of the net. 1-0 to Dumbo Holden, and Malines now have work to do to try to get back into the game. But Dumbo Holden actually were the ones that almost found the back of the net once again. Roger Smith did some good work here on the right hand side before he swiveled and turned in the box, but his shot was dragged just wide and away for safety. Malines would finally get their opportunity to find an equalizer at some moments after that, after the great work from Peter McGregor once again, who teed up Marlon Pennycook with a stinger of a shot, but Damon Hyatt did well to match it and got away for safety. So Dumbo Holden knew that they need an insurance goal, and substitute Lawrence had the best opportunity to find one when he was one-on-one with Dene, but his lob shot organizedly went off the top of the crossbar and away to safety. It remained 1-0 somehow in this match, and DeAndre Thomas, the only man have scored so far in the game, will try his luck right here, but once again he was denied by Darren Dene, but to make sure the scorelines remain close. But his attackers on the other end couldn't do enough to try to find that equalizer, and time would run out on them, and eventually the whistle would be blown for them to now realize they fall just painfully short of just getting a point out of this match. So it was definitely a game that should have more goals in it, but how was the game in terms of stats? Well, in terms of possession, Lions had 45% compared to Dumbo's 55%. Lions made 9 total shots in the game compared to 15 by Dumbo Holden. Lions had 5 on target compared to 7 from Dumbo Holden, 2 corners for the home team and 3 corners for the away side. Alright, let's start with Lions for this one. They have been going in the opposite direction of what they would want lately in these last couple of weeks, but the big factor being their goals have seemed to dry up. While Dumbo Holden, all praise should go to Harold Thomas. Even he admitted that when he took over, it was almost a near impossible task to get Dumbo back on their feet, but somehow, very quickly, he managed to do so. And if they continue to play like this, don't be surprised that they'll be fighting for the top 6 near the end of the season. But for today, it ended Lions 0, Dumbo Holden 1. So that is match week 23 in the books, but how is the table looking? Well, no surprise, More Pleasant after 25 games are way out in front with 61 points. Arnett are in second now with 52 points. Montego Bay stayed steady in third with 49 points. Mobay missed a chance to close the gap though. They're in fourth with 41 points. Same as Cavalier, who are in fifth. Waterhouse are the last team in playoff spot with 34 points. But get this, Cavalier are in 7th with 31 points, so only 3 behind. And so are Racing United, who are also on 31 points in 8th place. Dumbo in recent form under Harold Thomas has boosted them all the way up to 9th with 29 points. However, you are a little bit clearer from relegation now with 23 points. Lions are too close for comfort now with 23 points in 11th. Chapter Maroons are there just about with 22 points in 12th. Veer in kind of a bit of trouble, 19 points in 13th spot, and Homer Lion big win this weekend was not enough to get him off the basement, but they should be feeling better with 18 points from the 25 match played. And of course, before we can wrap up round 2, there's still one more rescheduled fixture to get through, and that's coming up this Sunday. Chapter Maroons will be playing Cavalier at 3 p.m. at the Jerusalem Mini Stadium, before Waterhouse will also be playing at home to Portmore United at 5:30 p.m. at Jerusalem Mini Stadium. Dumbo Holden will be back in familiar settings when they are at home this Sunday as well, where they take on Humble Lion. Race United will be at home to Lions United at Fernita Park 3 p.m. this Sunday. Harbour View will be at the compound and they welcome Tivoli Guns at 3 p.m. this Sunday. And the Monday Nighters Veer in a big match against Arnett at Catherine Hall. Before the final game of the round, we'll see Montego Bay hosting More Pleasant. But alright guys, that's all I got here on this latest match week review show. Thank you all for watching, and please like, subscribe and share as we look to keep you all up to date in the Jamaican Premier League leading up to the final in May. Otherwise, with great JPL content, you're already at the right place, JPL Fun. YouTube, big up yourself.